folks, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. I'm your host, John. With me this week is not Michael. He's on vacation.
Uh-oh.
I know that everyone expects Michael to be on. He's like the fucking... He's the rock.
Yeah,
he needed a break.
But,
yeah, he's the anchor of this family.
but, I mean, you know, we need at least one normal person on this website.
Sure.
But yeah, this week you've already heard their voices, but we have Scott.
Hello.
And Ryan.
I'm back after an absence, so it's good to be back.
You've been busy. You've been busy.
Yeah, I have. I kind of hoped that that introduction would come out a little more clever between the time it went from the synapses in my brain to reaching, like, the tips of my lips, but unfortunately... It just kind of popped out, and that's all there is to that.
Boy, don't I know that.
Folks, it's been one week since you heard the last podcast.
I hate this stuff.
But no, okay, so we've been cooking up a real treat for y'all. It's Switch Watch.
Uh-oh.
A bunch of us actually got Switches.
Hell yeah, like half the
so
site.
we can talk about, like, using one and playing the games on them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mean the game?
Well, I played another game on the Switch. Don't talk shit.
Okay. All right.
But look, we'll get to that in a minute. Ryan, I'll talk to you first because Scott and I are the two who got Switches, so we're going to talk about the Switch a little later.
Sure.
We're in a special club.
Yeah, we are. Ryan, why don't we catch up with you real quick? What's been going on?
Okay, so I don't remember how long it's been since the last time I was on this podcast. It's been at least 2 weeks, maybe 3, possibly. I could not tell you, but on last week I wasn't around because I had a meeting at school that I couldn't get out of, so that just kind of happened. But the week before that, I was on a cruise in the Gulf of Mexico with my family, which was a nice way to spend spring break. You know, I had never been on a cruise. I had never even technically left the country before, so this was my first time in international soil, I guess you could say. We went down to Mexico, we went to Cozumel, and we went to Progreso, which is in the Yucatan Peninsula. A little hashtag geography fact, that's apparently the only northwards pointing peninsula in the entire world.
Oh,
so,
wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Take also that my favorite kind of sauce.
Yeah. Take that little tidbit home with you. So yeah, that was really nice. I didn't have a whole lot of time to play games that week since I was, gone on a ship. But in the time between then and now, boy howdy, I played some video games.
Nice.
For the first time on this podcast, I had not only played more than one game, but I completed 2 games in the time since then. So
holy shit.
Yeah, this is like me overachieving. I got my official Chooch business cards in the mail for E3, and I guess now I have to, like, live up to the status of actually being a games journalist now. But yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of know what order I want to tackle these in, if y'all are ready to hear me regale you with the tales of the games that I played.
Absolutely.
All right. So first off, we have a game that I think is actually probably one of my favorite games of all time. I haven't talked about it much on the podcast because it's in one of those weird places where it didn't come out a long time ago, but it came out recently enough that I haven't really replayed it much. And that game is one of Platinum's multiple masterpieces, the game Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. That game rules. I have my Xbox 360 here with me in Austin, and my computer is nice, but it can't run a whole lot of stuff. But it can't run Revengeance, but it can run pretty much every other game I own for the Xbox. So my Xbox at this point is basically just the Revengeance machine. And sometimes, if my roommates want to play one of the Fallout games like New Vegas, we'll kind of gather around the campfire in our living room and watch each other stumble through that kind of stuff. But anyway, Revengeance is great. I don't know. I mean, I know John has definitely played it. Scott, I don't know if you have.
Oh, yeah, I beat it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Of course.
So
I love Metal Gear. I, of course, played Revengeance.
Fair enough. I always... I'd like to think I know what everybody in the site has played, but I just kind of want to make sure. I don't want to, assume that,
yeah, I got you.
We've all played it, but that game is still fantastic. It's pretty... God, I just don't know what to say about it that people haven't already said. My roommate watched me play part of it, and I kept trying to convince him to play it for himself, but I don't think he didn't really bite on that.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten how good the boss fights are in that game.
Yeah.
I mean that really is kind of that whole game in a way, but it was really nice because when I was playing the first boss, which is the Metal Gear Ray, it kind of just blares like Rules of Nature in the background, and by some divine act, I managed to sync up the slicing the Metal Gear in half, right as it's like Rules of Nature, and I'm like, oh, fuck yes, actually. So that was great. My roommate was there watching me do the monsoon boss fight, which I think is one of the more kind of intense encounters in that game, and also one of my favorites. I know there was a DLC for that game, which I still haven't played, but I think Monsoon might have my favorite design out of any of the characters in that game, maybe. I don't know, but there is sort of a method to my madness here in telling you all this story about playing Metal Gear, because the reason I played it was to prepare myself for Platinum's most recent game, which is Nier Automata. And John, I know you've played it. Scott, are you interested in that game at all?
I am interested, yeah. I haven't had a chance to touch it, though, and I haven't played the original Nier either. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that game is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And I did just want to say real quick. I don't know if you knew this, Ryan, but all the DLC for Revengeance is free now.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, if I remember correctly, I think there's only one new character in the DLC because. Yeah, it's in one DLC you play as Sam, and the other one you play as Blade Wolf. And
gotcha.
Yeah, the Sam one is just you joining the
Winds of Destruction, or Desperado.
Desperado.
Yeah.
And then the Blade Wolf thing is him basically gaining sentience and breaking away from Desperado. So
nice.
it's cool. I feel like the Sam DLC is better than Blade Wolf just because Sam is more fun to play as, but
sure.
It's still interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for free I might as well play that at this point. But yeah, Scott, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I have never played the original Nier. I, didn't really know anything about it until Rose wrote her round trip on that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a moderate Platinum fan. I've played a couple of their games, and I played the demo for Nier a while back when that came out, and I was like, yeah, you know what, this seems like something that I want to try to dip into. And after it came out and everybody was talking about it, I was out on spring break, and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go to GameStop and get Nier. And I did. And I haven't played a whole lot of it yet. I think my roommate actually picked it up last week, and I don't mean bought it for himself, played it on my PS4, and beat the game at least with one playthrough before I did. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that game's real good. I think I'm about 8 hours into it. I don't want to spoil anything, especially for you, Scott, but John, I think I told you, I'm right after the mission where you get the fast travel for the first time. So right around when the plot really kind of starts to thicken, which I thought was really cool. Like, I had enjoyed that game. I had liked it for, its gameplay, just the atmosphere of it, the fact that it's just kind of so unique in the way it blends stuff together, in my opinion. But once I got through that story mission and the first wrinkle in the narrative sort of exposed itself, I was like, oh, okay, I've gone from liking this game to loving it. So I'm really looking forward to going back and finishing that. I know there's multiple playthroughs like the original Nier kind of had, so I don't know how long it'll take me to get through the first one, but we'll see. Maybe by next week I'll have done at least one playthrough on that game. I don't know. It just depends, because the reason I didn't play more than 8 hours in Nier is because Scott knows where this is going. Is because I played another older game from 2014 to be precise, that kind of, shall we say, consumed my life over the last week or so. This is a game that on Wednesday, which I guess would be yesterday as of this recording, or maybe it was Wednesday. I think I'm thinking of Monday, or maybe at some point during the week before, but this is a game that I went out of my way to skip classes to play because I was so
jeez.
It was bad. And this game, for those of you who follow me on social media, will probably already know, is of course. Of course. It's like horsed, or like the past tense of horse. But of course, this game is the only 2014 English release of a PS Vita game, Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. One of the two hottest games of 2014, right here in my living room. Yeah, I got the there were a few games I pre-ordered back in December when I had Christmas money, and those were Resident Evil 7, the physical Hitman release, Danganronpa 1.2 Reload, and then Persona 5, which comes out in like 5 days. So but no, I played and finished Danganronpa over the last week or so, and that game absolutely deserves every amount of praise I have heard it get from y'all and from really everybody else. Aside from one, which I think y'all can kind of guess which one, aside from one of the trials and one of the murder scenarios, that just kind of was like, other than that, that game is great. I think, as far as what I was expecting, it surpassed my expectations. I know that game's kind of came out a little while ago, and I know we've really talked it to death on this website before for long-time listeners and that kind of thing, but I still don't really want to spoil anything about it, Like, that PS4 port just came out, which is what I played it on, obviously, but, man, if y'all are listening to the podcast and y'all haven't played those games, if you've heard the site talk about them before and you're not sure, even if you're like me, who was completely put off by those games because of the fandom back in 2014, I cannot recommend playing that first one enough. And from what I've been told by both of y'all and Niall and the criminal Mike Cosimano, apparently the second game is even better than the first one. So
blows it out of the water.
Yeah, geez. And I was pretty blown out of the water by the first game in the first place. So I'm looking forward to the second game with white knuckle anticipation.
I don't know if blowing it out of the water is the right way to put it. I kind of view both of them pretty equally. They're both really, really good experiences. Two is like a much grander experience in a lot of ways, and I'm really excited for you to see it because it's a fantastic game. I just want to. I just think like maybe don't set your expectations to like greatest thing of all time. Like
sure,
keep them around the same level of like Danganronpa.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, games will kind of resonate differently with different people, and I almost never go into anything with, like, this is going to be the greatest experience of my life kind of expectations, but from everything I've heard, I'm expecting 2 to be at least somewhat better, like definitely better than the first one, despite my hyperbole for the sake of conversation and that sort of thing. Like, I'm expecting to really enjoy it. We'll see if it strikes me as much as it has other people, but I don't want to like telegraph my opinion before I even play the game or anything like that. It'll probably be a while before y'all hear any opinions on me about that game, because before I dive into it, I'd like to finish more of Nier and start like Persona 5 just to give myself a break from Danganronpa. Like, don't get me wrong, that game was fantastic, but as I talked to you about, John, and Scott, you may have been there too, I just don't want to burn myself out.
Totally,
on those games.
I feel like it might be a little bit my fault for like hyperbolizing a bit about Danganronpa 2, but like that game is just so special to me. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like you said, games resonate differently with other people, but like I just remember like bawling my eyes out as I finished that game. It legit moved me, and some of the things that happen in that game, like I think about them when I'm in like my dark times, and I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, no, I need to keep going. Like,
yeah, absolutely, and it
means a lot to me.
I completely understand that, because if you want a personal case study, there's always Undertale from 2015, which for me was one of like the greatest games I've ever played. But then other people on the site were like, it's okay, and that's valid, that's legitimate. Like, I think that game is just blew me away, and other people will not have the same experience. And if Danganronpa 2, it's the same kind of thing. But as I said, I don't want to preemptively say I will or I won't enjoy this until I've actually gotten my hands on the game. I guess my point is that, yes, there is a chance that either it will or won't, strike me as deeply as it did you, John, but regardless, everything I've heard about it, kind of from a more objective standpoint, is that it's a better game than the first one is. So I'm and Scott, I'm not saying that you're wrong to be telling me that I should temper my expectations, because you're definitely right. Like, I don't want to go into this and be like disappointed, but the point is that I don't think I will be. Like, to kind of wrap this up and to make this as cut and dry as possible, I'm expecting it to be good, and I'm sure it will be.
Oh yeah.
So
all right. It's fantastic.
Stay tuned.
It's a great ass game.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Stay tuned for those hot takes in like at least probably like a month from now, maybe. I don't know.
Keep just guessing,
Yeah, it just depends on how I'm feeling. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about that first game before I move on. I think it's kind of a great deconstruction of the visual novel genre. If I knew more about visual novels, I would probably write something about it, but I don't really. I'm just able to pick up like here and there, like, oh, this is, like that trope, or this is like this expectation. One of the ways, and this isn't a spoiler, one of the ways that game does that well is that one of the ways the game does that well is at the very, very beginning of that game, you start off and you're like, oh, I'm Makoto, and I'm going to go to the high school where all the special people are, and you've got this really kind of cut and dry aesthetic to the text boxes and such. Like, they're just pretty plain rectangles and all that, and you've got these very static backgrounds where it's like, oh, it's the school, and here's my computer. But then as soon as you're actually in the game, it immediately switches over to like this really slick UI and these dynamic backgrounds and like 3D rendering and this really stylish visual style. And I guess that game, and even the second one, from what I understand, is a lot about subverting those expectations. So I guess they really kind of deliver on that, which I was pleased with. But, I won't take too much more time talking about this. Maybe once I finish the second one, I'll have some more cohesive opinions on the two games as a whole. But
sure,
needless to say, that game's great. If you've ever been thinking about checking it out, I highly recommend it. But that's pretty much been my last week of games. I talked about Scott. I know. Well, I won't step on Scott what you're saying, but I know you played Night in the Woods. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay. Well, I can't remember if I talked about finishing it before I left or not, but I'm pretty sure I did. So, yeah, because I finished it before I wrote the review, and the review was up before I left for spring break. Like, listen, the last time I was on this podcast may as well have been, 2 years ago. I'm losing my mind. But anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it back off to you, John. That's pretty much been me for the last 2 weeks. Just gonna hang out here and wait for my Persona 5 copy to get in on, Tuesday, I guess? Something like that, maybe Wednesday? It'll be soon.
It's not that far.
No.
Yeah, oh boy.
I was oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say, just to add one thing about, just to throw one thing in the conversation about Danganronpa, because, no offense, but my dude, you were going for it when you were talking about that shit. It's a little hard for me to throw my hat in.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I know, I'm just saying you're excited, and
it was a good game.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that something that I really enjoy about that is that, there are quite a few murder mystery games. A lot of them don't come out over here. Danganronpa is Danganronpa obviously takes a little bit from Ace Attorney and stuff like that, but also Famicom Detective Agency and stuff like that. Games that most certainly did not come out over here, and
sure, yeah.
those kind of games are the only reason I know about them is because they were on Game Center CX.
Yeah,
but Danganronpa plays with those tropes, even insofar as to mess around with the rules of engagement and the rules of wait, what? Oh,
I just said yeah. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, and even messing with the way that characters die, there's stuff that happens in those games that don't happen in those, because it would just be oh come on, this is a locked room murder. We just the mystery is we need to figure out who did it.
Yeah,
and they mess with stuff like that, or there's so many different things that are messed around with. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's move on. Scott, would you like to talk about anything non-Switch related before we move on to that? Because that's kind of all I have to talk about.
That's okay. I got my Switch today, and I've had about 2 hours to actually play with it. So, I played a couple games. I played a very emotionally resonant tale with a lot of characters that are very deep and personal and human in a lot of ways that no other games really touch on. I played a game that really goes for it in that kind of neat interpersonal relationship kind of thing. And that game is Dark Souls 3: The Ringed City. Which is the latest and last final confirmed DLC for Dark Souls 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not finished with it yet. I'm on I think one of the last bosses. It has to be, but he's a real motherfucker, and I don't even want to say, because if you've played the second DLC and you haven't played the third one yet, I don't want to say. It's a major spoiler, major spoiler. But that thing's really cool, because they go out of their way to mess with your expectations of just traversing around. There's a lot more running past things, because you don't you don't have you aren't afforded the opportunity to just stand there and try to clear everything out, because if you do that, then that's a mistake. You're gonna get killed if you do that. One of the first things they introduce are these angels that are motherfuckers. They have a ton of health. They shoot tons and tons of projectiles at you. And what you have to do is you have to run from spot to spot to where they can't see you. So it becomes a weird sneaking mission in a lot of ways. It's pretty neat. There's one part in particular with the angels that fucking sucks, and I hate it. And it took me so long to get through it, and I'm real happy. It was real satisfying when I finally did. But yeah, aside from those, they do that in other subtler ways. There is a way to kill the angels. That's one thing I forgot to mention. I sat there and, because I'm playing Vapor's right, the good old magic boy who shoots things with a gun, and I sat there and shot at one of the angels with some soul spears for a while. I killed it, and then it just came back to life with completely full health. And I had a ton of health to begin with, so there is a way to kill him. I found out how to kill him. I did it, and then this is one of the coolest things I noticed from this DLC. The enemies that were around and kind of hiding out like you would be too, just decided to pop their heads out and move around the area. So killing one of these things actually changes the enemy layout and placement of the whole area. It's really fucking neat. They had so much really cool attention to detail in this DLC.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot. Probably gonna finish that up soon. Cool. I also played a little game called Anosmia. I think that's how you pronounce it, which means I forgot exactly what it meant. I think it's a deficiency of oxygen. That's what anosmia is. And this game, in particular, manages to play on one specific fear that I have that I don't think a lot of people share. I have a very strong phobia to being underwater in video games.
Really?
Yeah. It's very specific. And this started when I was playing Final Fantasy VII, and I was a little boy, and I went underwater in the little submarine, and then out of nowhere, from behind me, Emerald Weapon came up and attacked me, and then I got absolutely destroyed by it in battle. So ever since then, I have been afraid of going underwater in video games. And
so not so much a kind of being afraid of bad swimming mechanics, but just generally being afraid of water in games.
That can add to it. Like, there's some games where I'm totally fine with it. It's mostly the darkness of it, not being able to see very well in front of you, like the lack of sound, stuff like that. It's very specific. When I'm playing stuff like Far Cry, I have to get in and out of the water really quickly because I can't go. If I go too deep, then I'm just like, I can't deal with it.
I gotcha.
And Witcher kind of had that a little bit, but having the crossbow to actually shoot back at things was a very nice thing to have. And also, the only things underwater are little monsters that you can kill in one hit. So just knowing that I have the ability to deal with it is a huge help. Anosmia itself is a puzzle game that manages to play on that one specific phobia I have sometimes.
Okay.
Whenever it gets like really dark is when I kind of freak out a little bit. But the big problem with anosmia, aside from me being kind of scared of it every now and then, is that it's not fun to play. So you play as a little drone, and you're kind of escorting the main character around, which is a neat concept. You don't actually play as the main character. He's just kind of a little piece of shit you have to get from place to place. But other than that, it's like just a side-scrolling puzzle game with not very responsive mechanics, things that can kill you pretty quickly, and it's not you that dies either, it's the other dude, so you kind of need to deal... He's so shitty. He doesn't come to you immediately. You can make him wait in places, but if you go too far away, he gets scared and comes to you. It's... Yeah, it's just... No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, it sounds like a kind of like a cool twist to it. Like, oh, you're not actually the main dude. You're just the thing. One thing I did want to ask is, what kind of puzzles does it have? Like, what is it?
You just go from screen to screen, you find a thing, and then you're done. Like, it's navigation puzzles. Like, there are mines placed around the environment, or little EMPs that'll knock your drone out for a while. So you gotta manage your way around it. And the dude will follow you as best he can, but he's not like very responsive, and he's the only one that can actually pick up materials, so you need him to get to places. There are some things the drone can pick up, but other times it's very I just need you to not run directly into that mine, please. It's annoying. It's annoying to play. I might actually get back into it, but I got past one major story beat in it, and then the next screen after that, my game froze completely, and that's when I stopped playing.
That sounds like a good place to stop.
Yeah. But, if you're into, like, navigation puzzle games, maybe watch a video of it. I might try and record something, but I don't have a ton of time.
Okay.
So try to find some footage of it. See if it's the kind of thing you might be into. I don't think it's particularly great, but it might strike a chord with someone.
Sure.
Oh, also, the dude you're escorting around fucking sucks. He has, like, the worst dialogue ever. He'll just repeat stuff like, we have to complete the mission over and over again. And it's just really drab, and it's just very generically deep and gravelly, and it's not great.
Sure.
We have to finish the fight.
Yeah, it's
I
basically
didn't start this war.
Yeah. Other than that, me and Trex also simultaneously played Night in the Woods.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to get you, them, and me together for a spoiler cast on that because, man, there is so much about that game I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I would love to do that with y'all. I've just been busy this last week, and I'll be busy next week. But if we can find a time that works for all of us, that would be great because I want to talk about that game with someone.
Totally. So. I'll just start by saying it's a fantastic game.
It's good.
It has some pacing issues, in my opinion, but the way the game is handled, I don't think they could have done it in a better way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Essentially, like, the main story kicks off, like, 2/3 of the way through, while the first 2/3 of it are spent, like, you basically picking between two characters and deciding which one you want to be friends with more. And that stuff is really, really good. It manages to take very, very good, lighthearted, funny writing and eventually kind of lead into really darker, deeper personal moments between characters.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very, very subtly and very handily. It's fantastic. I haven't played many games that deal with, like, humanity in a way that game does.
Yeah, absolutely.
It manages to have some of the best dialogue I've seen in a game in a long time without actually having any spoken dialogue.
Yeah, my only problem with the dialogue in that game is that it's very the subject matter and the material for the most part is written very well, but every now and then it starts for me to feel like everyone's just being kind of like dry and witty a lot of the time. And as the game goes on, it's not as big of a problem. It's only in, like, the kind of the beginning of it. Like you said, once it starts moving into that kind of deeper territory and those more intimate relationships, it gets better about it. Yeah, but there will be parts where you're, like, at the very beginning, say, having a conversation with your mom, and you're both just, like, talking like the exact same character, and maybe I'm the only one that gets bothered by that. But it's not so bad as for me to say that the writing in that game is bad, because it's not like it's great. It's just every now and then I would notice that. So I don't know.
They talk like Joss Whedon characters sometimes.
Yeah.
They're all kind of Daria in their own way. I actually really liked the mom a lot. Like, you talk about how she talks very similar to everyone else, May, the main character. I didn't see that at all, because I just kept hearing everything she was saying in the voice of a mom, and to me it always came off as, like, May would say something shitty, unsarcastic, and her mom would say it back in, like, this really sing-songy way, where she's trying to be funny, and it's like, that stuff, imagining the way the characters speak, made those characters feel so much better to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, you can really picture how they sound in your head so well. The dialogue is a lot the same, but, like, who those characters are and how it's delivered can come off completely differently.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
It
just depends, but for the most part, it's great. So.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, though.
I loved it.
I'm glad someone else on the site, aside from me, decided to play that game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to end up playing it at least by the end of the year. But, you know.
I'd recommend it, so.
Sure. Scott, did you play any other non-Switch things?
I'm trying to think. No, not particularly, unless you want to get into the Fire Emblem Minute.
I guess we can get into the Fire Emblem Minute. I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, John.
Yeah?
Hey, John.
Yes?
Did you see Lucina's new outfit?
Yes.
That was your Fire Emblem
okay,
Minute.
the atmosphere in this Skype call just got very bizarre, and I am just kind of here at this point.
No, I mean, it's cute. She painted that egg, and she's proud of it.
Oh my god. Listen.
She's proud of the egg, Ryan.
Listen, for a hot second, I'm going to put on my latex Michael mask over here and say that I am not going to allow this conversation. I am Michael now, and what Michael would do in this situation is just be like, oh my god, and then he'd just kind of be like,
yeah.
I actually don't know what he would do, but he wouldn't be enjoying himself, so.
Knowing Michael, he'd probably just walk away, because he just, like, when he doesn't want to listen to this shit, he fucking leaves the room. Like, I think his headphone thing is long enough that he just fucking gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I played that. I didn't get any of the like Easter characters.
Mm-hmm. One of my friends did, and apparently Lucina's lines are very, very hypersexual. Who knew?
Great. Yeah.
Awful. All right. I'm not gonna put any money into it. It's okay.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I've already spent too much time on it. I don't want to spend anything else.
Yeah, I logged on today for like the first time in like a month, and they just dumped shit on me. They were like, here's 20 orbs and like a bunch of level up items, go nuts. And then I was like, okay, and I level up because I have one team that I basically just use because they're all 5-star rarity and they just kill everyone. And it's awful.
You have a full team of 5 stars though, huh? Mm-hmm.
I have more than a full team
Great.
because I pulled a 5-star today.
What? Fuck. Okay, we're done. I can't talk about Fire Emblem anymore. My blood's gonna fucking boil.
Be careful.
Is it really that rare?
Yes. Do you know how many times I pull like 5 3-stars and that's it? That's like half my
I
pulls.
do that sometimes.
God. Okay. I can't anymore. Let's not.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's move on. I'm Michael now. Let's move on.
Put the gun down, Scott. Put it down. Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about the Switch. So I'm gonna just publicly thank Mike and I guess Miles and Will too for helping I guess fund this the Switch.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have a Switch now. And it's really cool. I wasn't expecting to. I mean, I was expecting to at least be pretty interested in it. Like, I'm a pretty unapologetic Nintendo fan, and obviously I'm not going to defend them 99 or 100% of the time. But when something new Nintendo comes out, I'm at the very least pretty interested. So, I'm really happy with what the Switch is, with what it does, with what it could potentially be for the future. Obviously, it hasn't reached that point yet, but the Switch is basically just one big bundle of potential. And I'm crossing my fingers and toes, hoping that it does reach that potential in the future. Just hearing about like how rocky some of the launch stuff is a little disconcerting. Like how like a lot of the games aren't running at like the frame rates that they should, and it's mostly software and not hardware. Like Shovel Knight runs at 1080, but Zelda doesn't, and that's like, I mean, obviously Shovel Knight's a way, way, way smaller game than Zelda, but it's like, when you're docking something, it bumps up the quality a little bit, but it's still like not on par with like everything is so like wonky and there's not really any like consistency between games yet. Which I hope that at the very least in the coming months that changes and we get some good parity. But for now, I'm still really happy with what it is. Like all the different, like the controller feels nice with the grip. I've played it in pretty much every different variety that you can play a game with, and other than just the Joy-Con by itself, everything else feels wonderful.
That's good.
I will say that I have been having problems with the left Joy-Con like crazy. That might be because my dock is set up like right next to a bunch of other game consoles, and I might have to figure something out about that. But yeah, it's like if I'm like laying in bed, I have to actually lean over a little bit, because if like my legs are in the way of the left Joy-Con, it'll stop picking it up.
Okay.
And that's especially annoying because I got killed a bunch of times fighting like I mean, I'm sure people know what a Lionel is by now, but I was fighting like the first Lionel, and I was getting my shit rocked because every time I would try to dodge out of the way, it was just like, "Oh, you didn't input a direction. You just jumped straight up, didn't you? You shithead." And I would just die, and I was like, "Well, I guess I'm pissed." I mean, but then I took the Switch out of the dock, put it on my desk, and sat down in front of it and played it that way, and it was 100% better. Like I mean, Zelda runs a little bit better undocked, so that helped even more. Just being like, yeah, no, I can like react properly because this is like at a slightly better frame rate, so my reaction is actually at the time that I want it to be. And I don't have to worry about the fucking control sticks not working. But other than that, it works really well.
That's good.
Have you done the taste test yet?
I have not.
You know what? I did. Like, first thing I did, second I opened up Zelda, just pop that sucker in my mouth. It's not that bad. Like, I feel like people blew up how bad it tastes. Just like, oh, it's just a slight bitter thing. I can see how it would tempt kids not to put it in your mouth, but, you know, I would eat one.
Scott, I don't like that answer because everyone I've heard like describe the taste has said that it tastes like earwax.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
There you have it, folks. Scott, 2017, I quote, "I would eat it," in reference to a Nintendo Switch cartridge. Just put something in your salad like croutons, I'd eat it. Fucking vinaigrette, I'd eat it. Switch cartridge, hottest snack of 2017.
Oh my god.
It should just be like a collector's dish. Like, you know, get a party, get some cartridges, you know, go ham. Do some licks on it.
The gamer's caviar.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
But yeah, I mean, I've been playing Zelda. That's basically what I've been using it for, like everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
Scott, have you played any Zelda yet? I mean, I know you just got your Switch, but have you played it at all?
Yeah, I have done a little bit. I got a couple of hours in. I'm still in that first area, looking around, checking out shrines. Other than that, I do have some other games downloaded. I might play Shovel Knight for the first time finally, because that seems like my kind of game, and I never really had the chance to touch
excellent.
it. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I also have Snipper Clips, so I'm gonna give that a shot. And I also have the fast racing game that came out on
RMX.
RMX, yeah. That's like it's not fast racing Neo, but it is still that kind of. It is that F-Zero kind of game, right?
I think it's either like a sequel or like some kind of like expanded port or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's the same people that made Fast Racing Neo at least.
Yeah, I can see that, like just a straight up port of that game, because that game wasn't bad. It just no one played it because it was on the Wii U.
which is a bummer. Because I saw some rumors that they were like gonna strike up a deal with Nintendo to put the Blue Falcon in that game, like as an apology almost to being like, well, there hasn't been an F-Zero, so here's basically an F-Zero game, and Nintendo's gonna put fucking Captain Falcon in it to shut y'all up.
That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah. Well, I also have it hooked up to my HDMI splitter and my switch thingy. I keep confusing them and like calling my thing that switches my HDMI my switch. So I have it all hooked up, so now I can just like swap between PS4 and Switch if I really want to. But also it is plugged into my capture card, so you guys will eventually see some footage of Switch games.
Hell yes, actually.
Hooray!
Yeah. I haven't toyed around a ton with it. I managed to get my Nintendo account up and running, and I apparently had a code for like a bunch of premium platinum currency that did expire.
Damn.
Oh no.
So, I don't know. Well, I got all that stuff ready to go. Played a little bit of Zelda before the pod. It was nice being able to just like, while you two were doing what you needed to do, like getting everything set up, like pull that thing out of its dock and just start playing some Zelda, and then go, oh no, this HUD is way too small for this screen size. This is not what I'm used to, but I can still play this, and that's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I've seen people carrying it around on campus a few times, and
nice.
If I get one, it won't be for a while. I know my roommate apparently got one, so I'll just play his. But I don't know. It's cool. Like, just seeing people having it is cool. It's like the future is now, in a way. It's not like we're about to launch ourselves into space with cyborgs and shit like that, but just conceptually, it's still, because I'm like 70 years old, it still blows my mind that there is now a like console that is also a handheld, and people just have it, and it's out there, and it's so weird. I still haven't been able to like wrap my head around it, but it's cool. I'm glad y'all got one.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, it's like insane that like the NX is out.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
John, what's been your go-to for playing? Like, what's been your style?
It's basically just a Switch. I switch around from having it docked in my TV to the kickstand mode.
Oh.
I don't mind playing it with the Joy-Cons attached to the screen, but at the same time, if I'm sitting at my desk, prop it up, relax, use the grip, because I really like the Joy-Con grip.
Really?
Like,
really?
I really do.
I've heard mixed stuff about it, so
I mean, it's a weird shape, but my hand just kind of like likes it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's ergonomic.
Yeah, I've had it for one day, so I can't say too much the way I've been playing it, but I've been using that grip for a bit, and it's a little awkward just because I have real big hands because I'm a giant man. I can't not play the game. I can play the game just fine. It's just sometimes after a while it'll strain my thumbs to move it around such a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like that's been totally fine. I might pick up a Pro controller when I can find one, because that might just be the way to go.
Yeah, I think they're on Amazon right now. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Or I saw that they were up somewhere for like $70 or whatever.
Yeah, they're still $70 fucking bucks.
Yeah,
so
which is absurd.
Yeah.
But
I think I'd prefer to just go into a store and see if they have one, because I waited a while for this Switch, and I don't want to wait for one more thing on it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really like Zelda a lot. I'm pretty sure that I've been a pretty outspoken Zelda disliker. And this game, I mean, obviously it's very different from every other Zelda game, but I'm really digging Breath of the Wild. Something I feel like the big reason why I think I like that game as much as I do is because of how good the checkpointing is. Like, it's tough. They drop you into some areas where it's just like, oh, some shit is going down, and you die, and you're able to just get right back up. Like, you respawn like right outside where you died, and you have all your equipment from before you died. So it really is just like hitting the reset button on that encounter. And I feel like it lets you experiment a lot more. It lets you like really bang your head against something to figure out like what went wrong. It makes it so you don't get that angry if like you're like I had to go against that Lionel earlier like 10 times, but I didn't get that pissed about it because I was like because eventually I figured out exactly what I needed to do, and I wasn't like punished for it. Like obviously there are games out there that people enjoy, that people do want that intense difficulty where it's like, you die, you're gonna get stripped of, you're not gonna come back with your items that you used, you're not gonna come back with like, you're gonna be sent far away to like a respawn point. But with Zelda, I feel like it really hits that point where it's like, we're gonna give you a challenge, but we're going to make sure that you have the opportunity to learn from this experience and not get like dragged down by having to revisit earlier parts that you've defeated already, but now you're just like lower on items. So you might die back there now, and then you just keep getting screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I finished, just for people who will, like, if you haven't played the game, this isn't really a spoiler. I finished the Rito dungeon, and I'm almost done with the Zora dungeon.
Nice.
Okay.
I will also say that the dungeons are super interesting, because instead of how in every other Zelda game where it's like, okay, you need to just kind of traverse this area and find the item that you need to use. In Breath of the Wild, it's all about using the mechanics that they give you at the beginning of the game, which are like the magnet, the stasis. There's a thing where you can like create a frozen block in water.
Yeah.
And the bombs. They just give you those things like right at the beginning, and that's what you use for the entire game. So it's all about just like building these challenges around those mechanics for the entire game, and it makes those challenges so much stronger because it's not just like, we gave you the boomerang in this dungeon, you gotta use the boomerang to hit something across the room. Like, it brings so much more complexity to that kind of game, and it's fantastic. I mean, I don't know what else I need to say about Zelda that hasn't been said. I just wanted to point out those like big things that I really enjoyed about it. Cooking's fun. I like to make a food.
Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it though.
The other game that I played on my Switch though, you know what it is.
Danganronpa.
Do I know what it is?
No. I mean, they should port Danganronpa to the Switch so there's an excuse for Monokuma to be in Smash Bros.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, it's the loophole.
Yeah, but no, I have been playing so much Neo Turf Masters on my Switch.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
It's so fucking good. Like that hamster port. Oh my god, it's like, it's flawless. They include the Japanese version and the English version, and they also have like a time trial mode and a score attack mode just built in. Like, it's like, it is the best possible port of Neo Turf Masters. Like,
that's good.
I don't know, that's one of my favorite arcade games, and I'm so glad that they ported it like perfectly to a portable system. Like, no, I'm like, they're doing all these fighting games too, and I'm just waiting. I am waiting for them to do Guru, and then once they do, I am probably gonna do something very, very stupid. I might go out and buy a fucking fight stick for my Switch.
Holy shit!
Because they're making them.
Jeez.
And that's going to be something I'm going to do one of these days, and y'all should be very upset with me when I do it.
I already am.
Do what you feels right, I guess.
I'm just going to have to, I mean, I'm probably not going to get it like when it launches, because fight sticks are always like $120, but I could see like in like a year after it comes out, it being like way cheaper because, look, not that many, unless something crazy happens, not that many people are going to be buying fight sticks for the Switch.
Yeah,
so,
I doubt it.
Yeah. All right. I guess that'll do it for games that we played.
Nice.
Let's move on to the news. Scott, would you like to go first?
Destiny 2 has been revealed.
Uh-oh.
That's right.
2 trailers released on Destiny's Twitter, and they both featured Cade 6, voiced by Nathan Fillion, being quote-unquote funny. And no, they finally revealed Destiny 2 after, we all knew it was there. People from Bungie have straight up said, yeah, Destiny 2 is a thing. And, now we've seen a little bit of it. We've seen a poster that has white text on a white background. Not great.
No.
But Michael speculated when we were talking about it that it was due to some major, prominent leaks recently, so they really wanted to get ahead of that, and they released a couple alright trailers of just cinematic stuff for some of the characters. Hey, Destiny has characters. Who knew? It showed off Zavala, Cora Ray, and Lord Shaxx is shown in a frame. In one of the trailers, in the background somewhere. So they're all still here. The gang's still here. And the game is focusing more on the Cabal as your primary enemy, spearheaded by some new big bad named Goal. G-Hall. It's spelled G-Hall.
It's pronounced Guru, Mark of the Wolves. Okay.
Oh my god. It's G-Hall like U-Haul. They're the sinister moving corporation that's trying to steal all the storage space in the universe. Whatever those games are about. I don't know.
That might be true because they have prominently struck the tower, which is all the Guardians' place where they hang out. That's the hub zone. And that's you don't attack there, that's the nice place. But they did it anyways. Those motherfuckers. And they showed a couple new enemies, like a large monster dog and another big alien that has 2 swords. So, that's new. The PC version has been confirmed. No disc included, which, pretty standard for PC games nowadays. And there is an open beta in the summer. Pre-ordering it manages to get you early access to this beta. And I have some of the pre-order and collector's edition things here that are kind of ridiculous. Hey, here's a whole bunch of DLC, but the standard collector's edition includes a paracord, which is just a bracelet. You get a bracelet, a Frontier kit including USB charger with solar panel in case you really need to go on your computer outside. And
I mean, that actually sounds useful.
Yeah. And then there's one thing here. I don't know what it is. I looked it up. I tried to see if this is a thing that actually exists. It is called a solar rug.
Okay.
What?
A solar rug. I cannot wrap my mind around this. What it is, whether it's a thing in-game or not. I'm assuming not, because they have actual physical things. And I don't know what a solar rug is. But yeah. There's other versions. There's a limited edition steelbook, and some other one. There's one that just says limited edition. It just has everything in it. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
There is a gameplay premiere live stream happening on May 18th, and the Destiny 2 release date is set for September 8th. There is your Destiny 2 roundup and update.
Nice.
Thank you. Ryan, would you like to go over your news story?
Oh, you know it, John. So, this is a game that I've never played, and John, I don't think you've ever played it. Scott, tell me, Scott, have you ever played the hot esports hit called StarCraft?
No.
No, great, so none of us have played it. Well, you may know StarCraft as a... Yeah, you may know StarCraft because it's really big in the esports scene, that great science fiction RTS by Blizzard. Mm-hmm. Recently, after quite a few months of rumors, the Blizzard CEOs had a stream. Well, Blizzard had a stream called "I Love StarCraft" or "I Heart StarCraft," I guess, because it's the greater than or less than 3 signed StarCraft. So Blizzard CEO came in and sort of announced that StarCraft, the original, not 2 or anything, is getting an HD remaster along with its expansion Brood War.
Neat.
The game will be coming this summer. It'll have 4K graphics, and it will include the original campaign. It'll have online and LAN play, because you gotta do what you gotta do for esports, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And I guess the most interesting part of this is that they're adding a patch to the original versions of StarCraft and Brood War, which will make them free to play. So that's kind of cool. If you want to play the original non-HD versions of those games, then you can pick those up. I think that may be something I might try. I'm not huge into RTS games, and I'm obviously not big into esports, but StarCraft seems like something I might possibly enjoy on a very casual kind of level. It's not too surprising that we're finally getting an HD release for this game, since it's still really popular, and especially still really popular in esports. I guess nobody really played the second StarCraft that much, or at least it certainly didn't have the staying power of the original. I couldn't tell you which anniversary this is. I suppose maybe, 20 years, I would think. I don't know when the original StarCraft came out, though, so I'd have to look that up. But, I don't have much else to say about this, because it's just kind of a HD remaster. You can go look it up on our site. We've got the trailer that they posted on YouTube. Scott, did you watch this trailer? Did you see it? I need your opinions. What do you think about these new graphics? Because they don't look super great, in my opinion.
You know what?
But maybe that's just me.
They look fine. It's a remaster filter. It's fine. It's just they smoothed over some pixels. I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird just because also it's like the 2D isometric kind of thing. It'd be like if they released like an HD remastered version of Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 2, and it was still in that same perspective, but everybody just had like weird, smooth textures instead of the pixel art and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be coming out this summer. I don't think there's an exact release date on it, but if any more news breaks, we'll be sure to keep you in the loop on that. And that's your your StarCraft update, I guess, in the year 2017. All right, yeah, John, that's about it for my news. StarCraft getting an HD re-release and is going to be free for the original versions. So,
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
So I have 2 pieces of news. They're a little small, so I just kind of wanted to run through it real quick.
Sure.
Unfortunately, Rose wasn't on this, so she can't really talk about how great this is. But Final Fantasy XIV is getting an expanded free trial period. Originally, you could only play Final Fantasy XIV for 2 weeks for free, and then they would start to charge you. But now, there is no time restriction, there is a level restriction. So once you hit level 35, you have to start paying. It says here that the Limitless trial only applies to people who have yet to play it. If you tried it out back during the 2-week trial period, you can't do it again. But if you did do the old trial, you can still use those characters and bring them over to the full game.
Nice.
Yes, that game is out on PS3, PS4, and PC. And there's a new patch coming out. I think Rose probably talked about it. Stormblood that's coming out that is dropping PS3 support, but you can just upgrade to PS4 for no cost. So that's nice. Yeah, I mean that's your Final Fantasy 14 update. And the other thing is a release date leak. Red Dead Redemption 2 is maybe coming out on October 3rd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so according to a Polish retailer called CD Action, they made a posting about Red Dead Redemption 2, and it said that it was going to come out on October 3rd, and then a little while later they changed it to the December 31st whatever, when it, what they do when there's not actually a release date.
Yeah.
But it looks like maybe the October 3rd thing might be the actual release date, and Rockstar is just not ready to announce it, or maybe they might, eventually plan on delaying it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's going on? But for now, we are most likely going to put a pin in October 3rd for a release date for Red Dead 2.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna move on to questions. I'm just gonna handle it because whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to send in questions to our podcast, have them read and maybe read on the podcast and answered, send them to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com. That is podcast@videogamechoochoo.com or videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. Our first question is from an anonymous Tumblr user, and they ask, will there ever be an independent console that succeeds where the Ouya failed? I do not think so. I mean, yeah, no.
I don't want to say...
I feel like...
You want to go ahead?
Oh, you go ahead, Scott.
Okay. I don't want to say no, never say never, no, it couldn't happen. But the thing that would have to happen to make that work is to actually get a whole bunch of indies together under a conglomerate, which, most of them are kind of working with the bigger dogs if they're big enough to be with them. So they can get their games out there on larger platforms. If this new supposed indie platform itself was just large enough to have a good name attached to it, then yeah, it could work. It could totally work. And if they had a big enough library, they had a big enough they had enough exposure, enough funding, an actual good console that didn't break every time you opened it, started it up. Yeah, sure, that could be a real nice thing to have, but also the PSP Vita exists. So, yeah. It feels like a lot of bigger developers are now going after that indie market because of the lack of just smaller games, like the $20 easy to churn out game. So they're chasing indies to fill that niche, and for the most part, it seems to be working out for them. It depends on what exactly they're going for. What would you want to see out of an indie exclusive console or something at least not owned by a major corporation?
Yeah, it's a little hard. It's a little hard to answer something like that because, I mean, the thing is that what you described, Scott, was basically the Ouya.
Yeah.
And the reason why honestly, the reason why the Ouya failed was because of how poorly designed the controller was, how bad the marketplace was. You're right that if that hypothetical console, I feel like if the Ouya came out and was super strong, that at that time frame it could have been successful, and it could have been I don't think it would have been a contender on par with the big three.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
But indie games would have flocked to that, and it would have been the place to get those kinds of games. But the Ouya flopped so hard. All the other Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft just they created their indie sectors, and then now there's no way that something like that's going to happen unless something happens where all three of those brands kind of just lose interest in indies. because like now, like pretty much any like semi-sizable indie game just needs to like stick their foot out the door, and someone's gonna come talk to them. You know, like I don't know. I don't think right now that that's really possible, especially because there's not really like a good hook for anything like that. Because like another thing about the Ouya a reason why people were so excited about it was because of how like open source it was, and then that just turned out to be like to its detriment because it was like so easy to pirate stuff, and it was just, and a lot of people were just buying it just to load up fucking ROMs on it, and then even then after that happened, everyone stopped doing that because they were like, well, this controller sucks, I'm just gonna get like a Roku or something and just do that instead. But yeah, I highly doubt that. Ryan, did you have anything to add?
Nope, I think y'all pretty much hit the nail on the head with all that. I don't have anything to add.
Also, probably the biggest caveat, the PC already exists. And if you're looking to play anything, you can really already get it there. You can get a lot of games that would probably eventually come to the Ouya, but are already there. So, like, it's tough. Like, they need indie exclusives, which indies cannot do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, here's our next question from an anonymous user. What did the crew think of the fashion options in Watch Dogs 2? Also, what game has the best fashion?
The fashion was alright. I did change my clothes pretty often just because it felt natural to, and that was a really nice thing to do. Especially because more often than not in games, like, you don't really have an incentive to go out of your way to change clothes unless it has some kind of stat changes. In this, it was just like, hey, I feel like for this mission, my Marcus would wear a lot of black and like leather and stuff because he's going to be sneaking. But later, I know I'm going to be hanging with my friends, so I want to change into a nice hoodie or something. And that kind of stuff felt really natural for me to do, especially because ways to access clothes were pretty readily available. So it was cool. There were a lot of really good. There were a lot of really cool fashion options. A lot that weren't particularly great, but that's just my personal preference.
Sure.
Ryan, do you have any opinions on Watch Dogs clothing?
I haven't played any of the Watch Dogs games, so I don't have any opinions on them. As for what game has the best fashion, that's kind of a tough nut to crack. I feel like, because my instinct is to say like anything made by Platinum, specifically Bayonetta or Revengeance, because I fucking love the protagonist in high heels bullshit. Like I like playing Revengeance. I was like, having Raiden wear these high heels is like the best thing ever. And they do it in Nier, and they obviously do it with like Bayonetta and all that. And I don't know, like, normally high heels, I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know, but when you put them on a character that's doing, like, fucking backflips with, like, a sword and, like, all this character action bullshit, it's like, yes, that's good. Also, I just kind of thought about this, maybe, like, I thought of Valhalla for some reason, just because you see, maybe not, like, the best fashion, but the character design in that game, and by extension the clothes the people wear, give you a really good sense of the world in that game, I think. So that's kind of cool. And Danganronpa 2, which not Danganronpa number 2, Danganronpa also, but again, I think the fashion in that game is sort of an extension of character design, which I really like.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess the answer to the question for me is less games that let you pick your own clothes, and more games where the clothes the characters wear really tell you something about them and like who they are. So that's my super non-committal answer to that question.
I think my answer for that would be the Ace Attorney series.
Oh yeah,
I think that fits in with your description of like fashion as a storytelling device.
Yeah,
because it's very much one of those things where like you look at a character, you find out a lot about them.
Yeah,
like you look at you look at, like, say for example, Mia Fey, like Phoenix Wright's mentor.
Uh-huh.
You look at her and you're like, oh, this is a very professional woman, and she's dressed to the nines and in like a lawyer outfit. But then you look and she's got that I always forget how to pronounce it. It's like Magtama. And it's like, so there's still like this mystical aspect to her, and you find out like, her history with like spirit channeling and all that. It's like, you can find this out based on looking at her and her attire and how she holds herself and all that. And I think that that's really important in a game like that. And just like pretty much every other character, you can figure that shit out. Like, fucking look at Miles Edgeworth and how he has a fucking cravat, and you're just like, oh, this cocksucker, Jesus.
Yeah.
And then later on, he gets glasses, and then he becomes a dad, and you love him, and he's great. But yeah, let's move on, shall we?
Sure.
Century Punk asks, what could a genre you hate do to get you interested enough to give it a shot?
That's interesting. I can't really think of any genres that I flat out hate. I can think of genres I'm not good at. Like, I'm not particularly good at fighting games or like rhythm games and stuff. But most of that comes with accessibility. Fighting games in particular, I'm just really bad at the inputs for the most part. But when I'm playing stuff like For Honor or Dark Souls in PvP, I still get that same sense of like Yomi, like figuring out what exactly this person's going to do and how to respond to it. And that stuff is interesting, and I feel like that would carry over to fighting games pretty well, but I haven't... every time I try to pick up a fighting game, I'm just like, I'm lost. I don't know how to do it.
If I may make a suggestion,
sure,
Scott, if you are interested in getting into fighting games at all, just try to, like, because it's always on sale for like $1, just buy Skullgirls and run through the training mode for that, because that will teach you how to basically play every fighting game in the world. Like,
people have recommended that to me a whole bunch of times, and I will probably give it a shot. Also, I did remember a genre I hate, and it's MOBAs. And they can't do shit. I'm already out with them. They can't do anything. They're done.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, but Heroes of the Storm is like a step in the right direction for MOBAs, where it's like, this is like almost a normal video game. Let me think. I mean, you mentioned Dark Souls, so I'll just say that I don't really like the Souls games that much, but like Bloodborne started to get into a direction where I started to like legitimately enjoy it, because the combat was faster and the environments were more interesting than just medieval times.
Sure. That's the thing when it comes to Bloodborne versus Dark Souls. A lot of people are like, combat on Bloodborne's faster, and it is to a certain extent, but for the most part it's the same pace. And when I talk to people who love Bloodborne but never touch Dark Souls, it all basically comes down to aesthetics, which, is not invalid. That's a totally like, that I totally understand, like, not wanting to wear the big armor and putting on the shield and like trying to like just medieval sword your way through things, because having a big cleaver that switches into a small one, or like a stick that you can put a giant saw onto, is way cooler than a broadsword. So that kind of stuff is important to people, and I don't fault them for that.
But I mean, I still feel like I liked Bloodborne more, but I still wasn't, like, super into it. But at the same time, it's a little hard for me to think, like, what could they do to make it a little more interesting? Because, like, let's be real, Souls-likes are basically a genre now, so I feel like that is something that we can bring up. But I don't know what, like, I kind of want to try Neo, because I feel like separating it into, like, missions might help a bit.
Yeah.
So... yeah.
Because I was going to say, one of the things about Dark Souls that was really overwhelming to me when I first played it is just kind of how much freedom you get in that game, just kind of run around. And at that time, when I played that first game, I had never really experienced much of anything like that in a game outside of kind of... I don't really know. I don't know where I was going with that thought. Like, I just hadn't really, to my knowledge, experienced something like that was just so open as to, you know, where you could go and your objectives and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you, John, that splitting it up into missions kind of gives a more palatable, I wouldn't say linearity to it, but certainly something more manageable, I suppose.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I can see that, because when you were talking about that, it just came to me like, it's levels. It's like the same thing as missions, but when you're going on a linear story path, you don't get distracted by, hey, there's a giant town under this place I go to as my hub. I don't know what that's about, and I kind of want to explore it, but oh no, there's ghosts here, and I can't hit them. So, like, you don't get distracted by that stuff. There are side missions in Neo you can go and do. It's just like a quick distraction, but those are done in like a minute, and you're totally equipped to handle them. It's not overwhelming. I can see how that could definitely benefit you.
Ryan, do you have an answer for this?
Yeah, you know, I was having trouble thinking of something for this until Scott mentioned MOBAs. I don't like MOBAs. I played League of Legends when it first came out for like a month, and I just couldn't get into it. The only way I would ever play a MOBA is if all the characters were wrestlers. And
sure.
I also have a deep, abiding hatred for visual novels featuring cat girls, thanks to being gifted the magnum opus Nekopara by Chuchizo Nile.
Sure.
And the only way I would ever play a cat girl visual novel if it had some like grand, deep twist to it, like some kind of Danganronpa-ass deconstruction of the idea of cat girls themselves or something. I don't know. That bit went nowhere, but MOBAs with wrestlers definitely sounds something more manageable.
Ryan, what if you could dote up those cats, though?
You mean like Dota up those cats?
So what we're saying is Nekopara, but it's a MOBA.
Fuck, I would actually probably play that.
And also they're wrestlers.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if, at the very least, there isn't some kind of fucking weird Nekopara MOBA in the future, because they're doing all kinds of shit for that game.
Yeah. And
Making
you know,
an anime now?
A fucking WWE MOBA is probably not out of the question, because they made that heinous board game we tried playing that one time. So
yeah.
That thing may as well have been a MOBA. Holy shit.
Ryan, I also want to mention, I ran this by Trex last week, and I'm going to run it by you. You two need to play Nekopara together or something, because Trex actually likes those kinds of games.
No shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, y'all should figure something out.
Okay.
I need to experience the like love-hate relationship with Nekopara, where they're just gonna be like, oh, this is good, and you're just gonna be like, I beg you, put the bullet in my skull. Like,
yeah, I'll have to talk to them about that, because I really like that idea, to be completely honest. So.
All right.
Yeah. We should keep it going, though.
Of course. Our next question is from an anonymous Tumblr user, and they asked, whatever happened with that Bionic Commando remake? That guy was even in Marvel vs. Capcom.
A lot of that game...
I can answer this?
Yeah, go
ahead. That game was fucking insane. Like, it wasn't awful, but it was just really stupid. And it flopped really hard, and so they didn't... I think, if I remember correctly, I think the people that worked on that game... I think that studio closed?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm gonna have to look that up, but, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah,
John.
That game got a...
Sorry.
But,
I was just gonna say that game got a very mixed response, and even the people who liked it didn't defend it hard enough to all the people who just straight up said, "This game is terrible. I don't want to play this." So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I looked into it. They shut down basically after that game came out. They were Grin, and the people that originally created it went on to create Overkill, aka the people that make Payday.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
So, yeah. But yeah, so that guy was in Marvel vs. Capcom just because I think that was like the latest incarnation of Nathan Spencer. Even though they did actually make a new Bionic... Because I think they worked on that Bionic Commando Rearmed game, which was like a full-on remake of the original Bionic Commando. And then they made a sequel to Rearmed.
Huh.
So it's a little weird. I don't remember who made Rearmed 2, but the original Rearmed is very good. But yeah, Bionic Commando is a really weird franchise, and I don't know.
I'm
It's
glad
really
y'all
weird.
are here to talk about Bionic Commando because I don't know anything about those games.
That's what happens.
And here's a quick fun fact about Bionic Commando that I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hitler's in that game,
Yep.
and he is the first character to ever swear on the NES because
Wow.
he calls you a damn fool.
Thanks, Hitler.
Our next question is from another anonymous, and they ask, what locations are underutilized in horror games?
Ooh.
Empty movie theaters are pretty scary, but rarely show up.
Yeah, I think Scott had his answer earlier with the underwater.
No, because like Soma came out. What was it, like last year before, something
Yeah,
like that?
that's true.
Yeah.
And also like the entire BioShock franchise.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
that's
I
more
was
of an
gonna say.
action game and less of a horror. But there is a horror element to it. Like underwater
Yeah.
is that. I mean, what was the other one? Shit. What was that one tank control game? Deep Fear. Fuck, Deep
Oh,
Fear.
fuck.
Yeah.
Deep Fear.
Yeah.
No, there have been a good handful of games that are underwater. I think there could be more, but also I know my specific phobia is very, very specific. And
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know how well that would carry over to like an actual horror game that's intended to scare me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what do you think? I think you have some. You're our horror expert, Ryan. I want to hear what thoughts you have on this.
Sure. I don't know, actually. I don't really
Okay.
have much of an answer for this question, so whoops, sorry everyone, podcast is over. No, I had a couple things I was thinking about. It's hard for me to immediately think of a horror game featuring a library. I think there's some potential for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at stuff around my room. I'm always a big fan of like the Haunted Mansion type stuff, like the original Resident Evil.
Sure.
Like I eat that shit up with a spoon. I have my copy of Black Hole over here, like the first issue of that comic series, and has there ever been a good horror game that takes place like entirely in like the woods? Because I like
Slender.
I'm gonna come through this microphone and choke you out, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So here's a couple things. I'm also looking around and I see my poster for The Shining I have. I don't really know if there's any horror games that have taken place in like a hotel for like an extended period of time.
The thing is, like with stuff like that, they'd be drawing pretty direct influence from movies like that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's more interesting when you go outside of those bounds and go into like ridiculous places you wouldn't think that would initially be scary.
All right.
There's something good about Resident Evil 7 in the sense of like houses are familiar. You can recognize this. You can walk around this place, get completely familiar with it, and eventually the stuff that happens in it completely warps and it draws you in. The same PT did the same thing on a much smaller scale, but
yeah, I'd say PT was better about warping that kind of thing than I literally almost called it Chainsaw Massacre than Resident Evil 7 was, because like I was about to say, Resident Evil 7 takes a lot of cues from that first Chainsaw movie, I think, and you're talking about going kind of outside that, but I do agree that there is sort of a horror to familiarizing yourself with the space and then suddenly finding it changed or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but to find yourself in a space you thought was familiar but has suddenly kind of defied your expectations, and that's sort of the kind of genesis of horror as a whole, to take what you think is familiar and make it uncanny in a way. But in terms of really ridiculous places for stuff, I don't know. I mean, I know there was a Thing video game that came out for like the PS2, but like Arctic, like abandoned research stations, that's kind of cool. A supermarket, maybe. Like now I'm just thinking of like Illbleed, because there's like a scene in like a supermarket there, like a loggers camp, a movie theater, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, go ahead, John. I'll stop rambling and just pass it off to you, because I'm sure you'll have stuff to talk about.
I just got one, a museum.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Night in the museum.
Yeah.
Like I mean, especially like in the context of a video game, I think a museum would be really interesting, just because like you would have to like progress through the different sections, and there could just be like themed creatures and all that stuff. I think that would be pretty interesting. I don't know if like it would be good as like pure horror, because it would just be like you go into the dinosaur exhibit and there's gonna be dinosaurs there, but you know it could be a fun like thrill ride to be like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here, there's like caveman animatronics coming after me, and they're like all like falling apart and like twitchy and shit, and it'd be creepy.
Also, I do have one more thing I'd like to add. I don't know of any horror games that take place out in like the desert either.
Oh yeah, I can't really think of anything specific.
I love the desert. I love the American desert. I love the mythology behind it, like, you know, Area 51 and all that kind of bullshit. And I think it's great. And the sense of solitude and abandonment you get out when you drive out into the desert, combined with this overwhelming sense of like cosmic dread when you look up and see like 5 billion stars in the sky and it's like dead silent, like there should be more horror games set out in like the desert, I think, or like just in like the West Texas like plains, that kind of thing. I don't know.
That sounds to me, Ryan, like a design doc, and now we have to work on this.
Good. Excellent. But
all right, we got one more question here, and it is from Shoeless. Now, before I read this question, I would just like to remind all of you that if you want to hear like if you want to let me try that again.
If you want to hear like this.
If you want to sound like this question or any of the previous questions, you want to have your question read on the show and answered, send your question to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com for an email. Or if you want to send it in the Tumblr, send it to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. Let's wrap this up with Shoeless's question. Most of the Chooch crew has already spoken about what their persona would be. But with Persona 5 on the horizon, a new possibility emerges. What would your mask look like if you were a part of the Phantom Thieves, and what would your codename be?
Okay, so first of all, before you said Persona 5, I thought you said Fursona. So I started answering like the wrong question mentally. But y'all can go ahead and answer this if you have a have something to say.
Luchador, obviously. Like, I own a Luchador mask here somewhere. It's based off the Shocker, who is an actual wrestler, and there's lightning bolts on it, and I've never watched one of their matches. So, what would my name be? I don't know.
Shocker.
Yeah, sure, Shocker. There I am. Shocker, your favorite spy.
Nice.
I kind of like need to look up like what the other like what their names are.
Sure.
Because I kind of want to like have an idea of like what they're based on in a way. Yeah. 'Cause I know the main dude's is Joker.
Oh God.
I can go ahead and answer this
because
I don't really know anything about the mythology of Persona 5 thus far, so I'll just say I'd have like a mask and or helmet that would just kind of look like William Finley's costume in Phantom of the Paradise.
All right.
That kind of like bird, like kind of Berserk Griffith sort of thing with like the beak on it, and my codename would just be Mothman. So
that's pretty good.
That's really
I don't know what I don't know what I would actually do, but I'd just kind of be there.
Yeah, I looked it up, and there's not like a recurring theme or anything. It's just kind of like one word like titles, so that's fine. I don't know. I feel like because of my my attachment to bear mascots, I think I might have some kind of like bear hat kind of deal.
Nice.
I think that would be pretty good. I think I don't know what my code name would be. Stinky. I don't know.
Me and Corcamano have both made you in WWE 2K17, and in both incarnations, you do come to the ring as a masked wrestler. And I don't know how we both came to this conclusion.
Probably because of the mastermind in Danganronpa.
Yeah, mine was different. I just wanted to I wanted to actually trip them up when we were playing with them. Like, I was gonna play as the masked gamer for a while, and then eventually he would get unmasked.
The masked gamer.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'll just be the masked gamer. That's it.
Big games.
That'll just be my thing. Yeah, just like everyone's like trying to like perform the thievery. They're trying to steal something, and I'm just in the background, just be like, this is really cutting into my game time.
It's that one The Good Gamers comic where you're just sitting there in the background going, "Hey, I'm gaming here. Can't you see I'm gaming? Geesh, I'm gaming."
Thankfully, with the power of the Nintendo Switch, I can game on Go. Alright, that should do it for this heinous episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. I'd like to thank both of you, Scott and Ryan, for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. We have some stuff up on the site. By the time you hear this, Rose is going to have an article up where she wrote about some of the stuff that she saw at PAX East a couple weeks ago. It took her a little bit because there was a lot of stuff that she wanted to talk about. But that should be done, and maybe some reviews too. We'll see how that goes. But we'll keep posting.
Yeah.
We'll keep... there's a bunch of videos for you to check out as well. We've been getting some videos out there.
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah.
Other than that,
I played everything, too, and I put a video up there with Trex. And that was a...
Nice.
Yeah, that's a thing. Hey, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, go check out the video for everything to get Scott and Trex's opinions on that. And we'll be back next week.
You gotta, tell people, hey, maybe share and stuff.
You're right. I apologize. Again, because we're trying really hard to, kind of get the word out for Chooch. This is like our big push. Please, if you would, share links, reblog, retweet any from our site, from our Twitter. Our Twitter is at VGCC. Our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. Just try to help spread the word, because the more people that are invested in what we do, the more effort we can put into this, because, maybe someday we can make this our actual full-time thing. And that sounds like a pipe dream, but honestly, going to E3 sounded like a pipe dream a couple years ago, and we're doing that on the reg now. So
yeah,
let's keep that optimism going, and as long as y'all want to help us keep going, just share our articles and review us on iTunes if you could. And we will be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So we'll be consistent. And I hope that you all will be consistent in your enjoyment of our stuff.
Smooth.
Thank you. Yeah.
Chugga chugga.
And we'll see you very soon. Good night.